My name is Gary Das. I only started using video and marketing back in 2016. I actually went self-employed in 2006 as a mortgage broker, got hit by the credit crunch in 2008, and diversified to do life insurance for nigh on 7 years. But I'm going to be talking to you today about finding a niche, about social media, the power and importance of that, because that enabled me, after getting back to mortgages in January 2016, to win Mortgage Strategy's Best Small Broker. With virtually no marketing spend, last year within my brokerage, my team and I were able to raise 132 million in mortgages and finance. I've now done over 100 videos online, probably more than that, with the fact that most of this year I'm going live on my Gary Das page at 8 a.m. every day, and the views and the reach and the amount of people that are being seen is increasing, which we're going to talk to you about as well. In the last 12 months, my team has gone from 3 to 13. I've managed to remove myself from the day-to-day operations and running of the business with a manager in place, 5 brokers, soon to be 8. And as a result of social media, with virtually no marketing spend, and I've only spent 2,500 between 2016 and the beginning of 2020 testing Facebook ads. Now we averaged up, and that's generated more than 650,000 from social media that we can attribute since 2016, which if you look online across all platforms, just my name alone, not taking into account my brokerage Active Mortgage, 30,000 followers online, each one of those is worth 21, 22 pounds. So this is where you start to get to. Businesses are built on numbers and on science, and I love that side of doing it. You know, I built a successful insurance brokerage in 2015, but I hated the way in which we generated leads, which we'll get into today. I built an adverse credit mortgage brokerage as my last employed role with 2 other people back in 2005. But I hated the way in which we generated the leads. And that was, you know, it was a costly and expensive environment. So today is all about video. It's all about social media. So the big question you need to ask yourselves when it comes to social media is, how do you stay most effective and productive on social media? How do you manage to not get distracted looking at cats on skateboards and all this different stuff that seems to vie for our attention? Because we are in an attention grabbing and an information age. You know, for years growing up when we were all at school, the education was poor. More people are sorting knowledge, looking for knowledge now than ever before. So the way in which I consider you stay most effective is you've got to look at the outcomes that you're chasing. So the first one's going to be to further your brand, you know, to bring more people into your world. That can be your personal brand, which we're going to talk about today, but also your business brand. To generate exposure or reach. Now, reach is the number of people who see your content, not necessarily the number of people who engage with your content. So reach is about the number. That's then in turn going to generate leads, customers, sales, clients, and we want to make sure that we track that. Now, social media is a hard thing to track, but it is like planting a seed and waiting for the tree to grow. You're going to get results. I got a message last night from one of my mentees and friends, Imran. Over the last 2 weeks, he's been doing video online and he's generated 2 inquiries. Well, that's just a matter of time. And those videos are now going to be working for him whilst he doesn't have to be doing anything. And that's going to lead to a commercial goal or a gain. Pounds in the back pocket, turnover in your business, sales and profit. So the challenge of how do we leverage and repurpose the most is the next question. Because I can certainly say I'm doing more social media now than I was back in 2016. So how do you free up more time to do more social media? How do you start to see that as an actual job and as work? So how do you manage to do more social media? How do you go from 1 post a day to 2 posts a day? You know, I'm looking at ways in which you can do that too within your business to make sure that you can, or within my own business, and helping my advisors in order to be able to do that, because it's all about focusing on the fun stuff, as Emma's going to be talking to you about. And if you're wanting to market your business, then you need to be looking at the way in which you can use every single free platform that is currently out there. So how do you spend more than 1 hour per week on social media? Now, for some of you, you may not want to do that. You may not want to put yourself out on social media consistently every single day, but it is the way of the world. I didn't use it pre-2016. It's certainly not going anywhere. It's just getting bigger. The numbers are growing. The number of people on it is growing. There's new platforms being released. There's new opportunities to reach your leads, clients, and sales. So first of all, let's just look at what a business brand is. So the business brand is your company, your name. My company is Active Mortgage. During this Corona environment, we've released 2 other brands, Active Insurance and Active Wills. You then have what has been for the last 12 months, the Mortgage Pro side of things. So I started a community of mortgage advisors, which was originally the Mortgage Pro Free group. We launched an academy 12 months ago. We launched a podcast 12 months ago. And then I've moved into my personal brand as being the Mortgage Pro Coach. And that started last March in 2019. So your business is definitely a reflection of you in those early years. Your brand and your business needs to have consistency. So we've got consistency within our testimonials that we post. We've got consistency within our videos that we put out on social media and have been, banners, subtitles, logos, headings to capture people's attention. And then just doing podcasting and having the big banners that you'll see in the background there, which just add more value to your brand and keeping the consistency. I also wrote a best-selling book back in 2017 called The Self-Employed Mortgage Guide, which is available on Amazon. It got to #1 in real estate back in 2018. That's one of the best business cards that you can have to help you get more results within your business and within your brokerage. The next thing that you want to be looking at is having a methodology. And I'm going to talk to you more about this as the day goes on. We have a method, a process that we take our clients through. And in my last presentation at the end of the day, I'm going to be talking to you about why this sort of thing is so important. It enables us to have consistency is the main one for the clients that we serve, but it also breaks it down into a simple and successful process. So having some kind of methodology within your business enables your team to be on point. It enables your clients to be on point and know where they are during the sale process as well. Next is looking at your business brand is about having what's called a lead magnet. So this is actually a free downloadable gift that we put onto the internet that we drive traffic to. This is where we've been spending most of our advertising this year. We're getting people onto the database, onto the email list for £1.35. And that averages out at £1.35. Some places are more expensive. Some audiences within Facebook are more expensive than others, but the average is £1.35. So you imagine getting a lead, a name, a number, a contact, a detail of your client onto a database. We've got other ones that we've written, the 10 steps to self-employed mortgage success. Niching has been one of the best things that I've done for my business, and I'm going to talk about that to you today. But ultimately, having something like this on the internet working for you means that you're not paying 50, 60, 70 pounds per lead, depending on where you are in the world. Because I know we have some people from Australia and New Zealand, and thank you very much indeed for taking the time out today to learn and get the results that you want from your business. So a brand you would have all heard of, Virgin, just to emphasize the point of how powerful a personal brand is. Probably one of the biggest brands, loads of sub-brands underneath it, money, credit cards, holidays, soon to be doing cruises and care homes, because he's ridden the wave of the demographic that he definitely has as his audience. And he has Virgin have 1.55 million followers on all their social media channels. But you compare that to the man himself, who's taken a lot of flack during this time, 29 million. And that's because people buy people. People like you will like you. And this is what I want you to urge you to think about over the course of the next hour, is about your personal brand, because it's you that makes you different to everybody else. So when it comes to personal brand, what are we talking about? Well, your ability to attract your ideal client into your world. Because when you start putting a message out into the marketplace, people are going to come to you because of you. The amount of people that know who I am, not who Active Mortgage is is because of the videos and everything in building that personal brand. As we saw with Virgin, people are more interested in the founder, the owner, the face of the company than they are interested in the actual brand, because it's not the company that gets the results. And generally, for most of you at the beginning of your journey, or no matter what size you are in business, your business brand is a direct reflection of who you are and what you are about. The beauty is when you've got a clear, succinct message of who you want to work with, you start repelling everybody else. And this is why it's powerful to have a niche and an ideal client that you want to work with, because it enables you to get a clearer picture of who you want to work with, which then repels everybody. When you talk to all people, you talk to no people. So being specific can really, really help you to attract that ideal client into your world. And have a think, make a note to do this afterwards. Who is your ideal client? What's their name? What's their age? What's their sex? What's their demographic? And imagine doing business with them or people like them every day, 5 days a week of 52 weeks a year. You can attract more of those people into your world through utilizing your personal brand, because people like you will like you, as I've said. The thing with personal brand is about packaging up yourself. So you know what you stand for, what you stand against, what's most important to you in your life, what is going to, be the commonalities that you have with other people, because we are friends with our friends because of who we are, not because of the job that we do. And I know that a lot of people have a fear or a frustration, and maybe you do too, about putting yourself out there. But that's what's going to make you resonate with people, because people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So understanding what's most important to you, what you stand for, and equally sometimes when devising this stuff, it can be easier to think about what you stand against, because that gives you a clearer indication of what you stand for. So one of the things that I stand against is building a performance-based business that absolutely sucks the life out of you and stops you being able to spend time with your family, working 16 to 18 hour days, hustle and grind like the Americans talk about. If you're having to sacrifice time with your kids, time with your partner, date night, family time, that is not what you start a business to do. Your business there should be there to support your lifestyle and to give you the results that you want. So in standing against that, it enables you to easier understand what you also stand for. And I would urge you to think about that. Knowing your strengths and your weaknesses is really important to your personal brand, not only in your recruitment, but also in growing your business. Looking at getting the results that you want is about identifying what you're good at and what you're not good at, and not being afraid to admit that online and actually share that with people, because people buy into that. I'm good at going live on Facebook, but I'm absolutely rubbish at writing. My grammar's horrendous. I generally mix up words. I speak a lot quicker than I type, so I can't speak up. I can't. I'm doing it now. Look, I'm falling all over my plate, all over myself. Put my teeth back in. But when I write, the words don't come out in the way in which I'm saying them. So 9 times out of 10, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Focusing on what's most important to you in your life. What are your values? What are the things that you prioritize over absolutely everything else? What are those few things that you can think about that mean more to you than anything? Where do you spend your money? Because that's always a clear indication of your values. So many people talk about not wanting to lose weight, or wanting to lose weight. And maybe you've done this, but you just don't stick to the diet or the nutrition or eating the chocolate biscuits like I do every single night almost. It's because it's not a priority. It's because it's not high enough on your values. And some people wonder why they're not earning the money that they really want to be earning. It's because the money is not high enough on the value to prioritize it and to sacrifice other things. And your values chop and change. If you think about what was important to you when you were 10 versus what was important to you when you were 20 versus what was important to you when you were 30. And now for me, approaching 40, in the last 8 years, I've had children. So what was most important to me when I was 30 was definitely changed by the time that I'm 40. You know, when I was 20, there was definitely some differences there, mostly going out and getting drunk with friends until I sort of grew up at around about 26. So think about your values and share those. Then your key traits, you know, the key things that you stand by and you actually believe in. But, you know, are you energetic? Are you passionate? Are you a slower person? Do you take a little bit of time to go through the thought process? Understanding what your traits are and exaggerating those is really, really key. And if you go back on my timeline through social media, you'll see actually that, you know, I was kind of corporate Gary, as I call him. I would be in a suit, and then slowly the jacket went. And then as over time, now you pretty much just see me in these Hollister kind of polos because they're comfy, they fit nice, they're professional to a degree, depending on where you are in the world and the country. But it's the words that come out of your mouth that really people care about. And then being consistent and the same absolutely everywhere. I hear it so many times about LinkedIn. You know, should you be different? Should you talk differently? One, that's a lot of effort. But two, it doesn't really show it doesn't show that you're massively congruent. If you're comfortable in terms of who you are and what you stand for and what you stand against and what you believe in, then you should just be the same on all social media platforms. It's what's going to resonate the most amount with people in terms of going to, you know, getting leads, clients, and sales, which is what the main goal is. And the final point in terms of your personal brand is your fears that you have probably aren't going to happen. You know, you think you're going to get trolled. You think you're going to get comments. You think people are going to go against what you believe in. But I would generally say that actually, if you're coming from a place of value and you're trying to help other people, how can anybody ever slate you for that? I recently experienced not trolling or hate or anything along those lines, but I was critiqued because I went against one of my principles that I've stood by since 2016. And it took a long time. I've not had any, you know, trolling or anything at all along those lines, just from putting loads of videos out, answering common questions that clients ask, and wanting to help and serve others to the best of my ability. And I would urge you to do the same, because those fears of what is going to happen, I probably guarantee you will not happen. So has everybody heard of Ryan's Toys? My children are absolutely into this little lad. Started off reviewing toys online. 2019, he earned $26 million at age 8. His parents are obviously heavily involved in his success, but that's because of his personal brand. I saw the other day he's now got a TV program because he is the face and the personal brand of Ryan's World and Ryan's Toys on YouTube. You then have the footballer Ronaldo, 975,000 per Instagram post. He hasn't even got a business, but he earns 47.8 million from posting on social media because people pay him for the audience that he has. And this is the crazy world that we now live in. You look at the beginning of this slide where I said, you know, 30,000 followers online. Each follower is worth, did I say 22 or 23 pounds? When you think about this, 975,000 per post. Well, if you go onto his social media channel and you look at how many followers he's got, models are paid for their catwalk, to be on the catwalk based on the following that they have. Influencer marketing is really big now in terms of getting people to promote your products and your services, because they're going to bring you, people buy into what influencers say and do and who they utilize. And everybody wants to have or their fans and followers want to have a slice of that. So it's crazy to think that the more followers you have, naturally, the more business you are going to do. But a personal brand can be good and bad. You know, hopefully most of you have heard of these 3 very different Katies, very different personal brands. Love them or hate them, there is an element of Marmite in them. You can't really hate anything at all about Katie Piper. She had a tragic, accident and personal circumstances, but she's much loved by many of them. Definitely Katie Price, Jordan, they're both Marmite, love them or hate them, but they're clear in terms of who their personal brand is. I can't think who the pink lady is. My name's gone completely from my thought process. So what's most important to you in our life? What do you talk about when you're online? Well, for me, family is a key one. You know, family is one of the most important things in terms of why I do what I do. It's who I do it for. It's who I want to spend my most amount of time with. When you're having a down day or you're struggling or, things are not wanting to do something in your business, then these are the people that you focus on and you share information about them. Now, I don't put too many pictures of my kids onto social media. You generally see them from the back. My wife hates being on anything to do with social media. So yes, I am married. Although if you go and look at my Facebook, it still says I'm pending marriage. Although we are, 9 years in now, we're 10 years next March. I'm still pending marriage. I still haven't been given the Facebook acceptance. But the children are getting to the age now where they can pick and choose whether they want to be on it. Fitness is another big aspect of what's most important to me in my life. I talk about it, I share it, I reference it in the content, making sure that, the fitness analogy, the dedication, the commitment, the consistency, the showing up, the making sure that you do the things that you want to do, you do the things that you need to do, even when you don't want to do them, is brought for me into business. And then lastly, there should have been a picture of business there. My fault. But the business one, the business picture around talking on stages, helping clients, giving them leads, clients and sales, and just helping to grow your businesses, grow my own businesses, helping my team to generate as many leads, clients and sales as they possibly can. So family, fitness and business are the three things that I generally focus a lot on. So with regard to your personal brand goals, I absolutely love this image. Your vibe attracts your tribe. You don't need to appeal to everybody. But the key things when you're looking at personal brand is increasing your reach. As we say, the number of people that you're able to be put in front of is absolutely key. Doing a video that's going to be seen by thousands is better than making 100 phone calls. But then it's about how do you increase your engagement? The more engagement you have, as a general rule of thumb, if your video was seen by 100 people, then realistically 10% is the engagement rule. So you would expect at least 10 people to be commenting, liking and sharing and having a chat with you during that. As we've said with Ronaldo, Kylie Jenner is another big personal brand. Every fan and follower to her is worth over £500. So more fans, more followers, more subscribers on your email database or on your podcasts. Once you have that, you're then able to launch books, launch podcasts, run events like this where you can, put a message out and lots of people want to come and learn and grow and develop and improve. And the big thing, which I don't think I have got on here actually, is yes, it generates leads and attracts clients, but it actually improves the industry. I reference the fitness industry and I look at the fitness industry for inspiration because it shows so much. There's so many people with different industries, different expertise, pushing different types of diet and weightlifting, etc. But they're all helping the consumer. And by building your personal brand online, you're going to be helping your consumers, standing out as the logical choice, which is then what brings you the leads and attracts more clients into your world, which gives you the opportunity to sell and serve and help and provide more solutions, overcome more problems and challenges, and get more results from your business. And in doing so, you then get offered speaking gigs and opportunities because of the consistent videos on social media, because of the podcasts, etc. It's enabled me to get speaking gigs at events, podcast interviews, being asked to do something like this that gave me inspiration. I was part of a property online summit where there was loads of people. There was almost a new speaker every hour across 3 days. And I had the pleasure of being one of those talking about social media. You can then, if you look at someone like The Rock, for example, Dwayne Johnson, the ex-wrestler, he's sponsored by Under Armour. He's got trainers, he's got earphones. For your brand and your sponsorship, you look at Vitality as a perfect example. The personal brand of all the athletes have got the sponsorship and the brand link with Vitality. And that helps to bring in more clients because that's the ideal client that they're looking for. So the brand and sponsorship is about also connecting with people who have access to your ideal client as well. That can also lead to JVs and partnerships. So I have a partnership with Progressive Property. Rob's coming on later. I am an approved broker for them. That gives me access to a community of 24,000 property investors, gives me the opportunity to speak at their events. I am a progressive social media trainer as well, teaching social media for and with Rob. So, you know, social media can bring you more than you even realize. That back in 2016, all I saw the opportunity was posting and helping self-employed people to buy and invest in property. And then last but no means least is obviously money. We're building our businesses to live a certain lifestyle, to help a certain number of people. And the more value you bring to the world, the more income and money you get as a result. And that's why it's about just sharing who you are and what you are about. So something you can go and look up. This man, Kevin Kelly, he wrote a book called 1,000 True Fans. And in that book, he actually said, to be a successful creator, you don't need millions. You don't need millions of dollars or millions of customers or clients. A true fan is someone who buys everything that you produce or sell. So you're all in financial services. Are you making sure that your clients are getting the mortgage, the life insurance, the critical illness, the income protection, the pension, the will, the investment advice, you know, the tax planning, anything and everything that you can chuck in front of your clients? Because once you've had 4 transactions generally with a person, they're going to be a client for almost life. But it's also about focusing on the 20% of your business that brings the 80% of your revenue, because that is a true fact. 20% of your clients will bring you 80% of your revenue. So it's about finding those true fans and keeping it really simple. I'm a big fan of building a business simply, looking at how much money you want to earn from your business, how much you want to pay yourself, and then just build the business that supports that. Some people say to me, I want to earn 50 grand a month. Well, what's 50 grand a month going to give you that 20 grand doesn't? What's 10 grand a month going to give you that 5 grand doesn't? You know, so it's just about looking at the simple numbers and the simple stats. And I would rather work smarter rather than harder. £2,000 to 500 people, £1 million business. You know, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Keep it simple. So hopefully that's given you some reasons as to why you should be looking at building a personal brand. Comment at any point during this, and I will do my best to try and see the comments below and answer any questions that you might have in relation to it. So time to build a personal brand is what we're going to look at now. So a big word that's bandied around online is an influencer. So what is an influencer? They are someone who's established credibility in a specific industry. Got an audience, a large audience. I think a large audience can be defined as over 1,000. They can persuade others by virtue of their authenticity and their reach. And unfortunately, influencers are taking over the world. You look at, it started with business. You know, you look at Dragon's Den or Shark Tank as the American one. There are influencers absolutely everywhere. So you don't need millions of fans. You just need a few. And I would urge you to start thinking about who you can help and who you can best serve. So some tricks to help you become an influencer. And I would urge you to think about this as a landing page, much like your website. Your website is about looking at the header of the Facebook page. You can advertise in there whatever you want to advertise. It could be your services. It could be a specific product. It could be an event that you have had coming up. Then as you start to move down the left-hand side, you've got an introduction, an opportunity for when people land on your page. We are all looking to learn more about people that we're engaging with, whether it be on, you know, Googling. Think about when you suddenly get an email from somebody, or when you're thinking about doing business with someone, you look for reviews. That means your clients are looking for reviews. If you're recruiting an employee, you go and search them out on Google and on social media. So make sure that your page is set up to attract your ideal clients. Get an intro written. Get the links to all of your social media pages, job title. Make sure that they can find out where you are and what you do. There is a little button that you can utilize in terms of the settings to enable people to follow you, not just be friends with you. So make sure you've got your follows on. And then also ensure that you've got links to any relevant websites, pages, anything at all that you want people to see and you want them to be able to go and follow. So you've got Facebook page there. I've got YouTube. I've got my website address. I've got my Instagram account and also my personal website. So make sure that you've got your Facebook set up that people can go and gorge on the information that you're providing. And then they also give you 9 images that you can use to resonate with your audience. So use those 9 images. I've got my book. I've got the phone number of the business. I've got family. I've got fitness in there. I've got the podcast image in there. Utilize that to resonate best with your clients. Next, you've got LinkedIn. Same thing with LinkedIn. You can look at header, banner, introduction, saying what you do, looking at the services that you provide. You've got a little box there. You've got the about, giving people a snapshot in terms of what is most important to you and how you can best help and serve them. And you can feature some articles as well. So use them. It's about authority. When you post on socials, someone is going to click through and look at your profile. The big thing you want them to think is they are in the right place, that you are going to be best to help them, that you are going to be best to serve them, that you're going to help them get the results that they are looking for. So make sure that they land on there and it resonates with them and go, yeah, this guy looks interesting. I want to follow, or this girl looks interesting and I want to follow them. That's the goal of what you're trying to achieve. Now, something I would urge you to do after this event, open up a page on Google. It can be on your computer. It can be on your phone. Choose the little incognito button, because what that means is it turns off your search history. So therefore, it won't look at what you're most commonly searching. When you go incognito, search your own name, because this is what your clients will be doing. But I want to point out in terms of that, when you search your own name, you get a list of everything that most people are commonly seeing. So on there, you've got my personal website at the top. So I would urge all of you to have your name as a personal website. I've got my wife's and I've got my children's already bought. A couple of quid, GoDaddy, Easy Space, whatever it might well be. But that's going to enable you to safeguard that. You've then got your business website that comes up, and you can show that because you'll have an article and about page with your name on there. Twitter. Lots of people talk about not using Twitter. It's a great place to drive traffic to your website. It's also there as a means to be able to put video in front of people or recent posts in front of people. So don't underestimate the power of Twitter and getting more results from it. Your business website will feature again. This is just my order. Yours will change. Look at that though. Front page, LinkedIn. So make sure on your LinkedIn, you have got your page set as all-star. When you search, there'll be a button. And that means that you've basically got all sections completed. Why I'm a big fan of video, YouTube channel. Having video on YouTube is really, really key. And then also industry press, getting yourself featured on industry articles. And if you have a look across the top where you've got news, images, videos, you want to make sure that if you click on each of those tabs that you have got your name in there. And I guarantee you, if you have a little search, and when you do, comment this in, because when you search your name, if you're sitting in front of a PC now, do it. I guarantee if you go incognito, you will find something horrendous in there. I've had people, when I've got them to do this before at an event, you know, they've had murderers and gangsters and all sorts of random people that just pop up with their name. And you want to own your name online, and you do that through content marketing, which we're going to talk to you about and what Rob's going to be covering off quite a lot about as well. So video magic is my favorite topic. And there's a reason why, and I'm going to cover this off for you today, because I know some of you will have fear about doing video. But let's get one thing out of the way, compliance. And I apologize that I couldn't find a better image for this. You know, compliance isn't going anywhere. Lots of people use it as an excuse, but it's there as a necessary evil to make sure that we do what we do. But it shouldn't hold you back from producing content and serving others and generating income and leads, clients, and sales. You need to learn the rules of whomever governs your compliance and make sure that you understand it and just abide by those rules. And if your business or your network or your supportive environment or your company isn't allowing you to do video or produce content on social media, then the harsh reality is you need to kick them to the curb and change. And you need to go to somebody else who is going to sort it. Katie's just said that she did search, and What came up, Katie? That's what I'm intrigued by. So compliance, it's a necessary evil. Don't use it as an excuse to not do this. You can do it for completely free. So I want you to all to understand the social media algorithm and how it works. So you post on social media. Well done. Congratulations. You've done a post. Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn and everywhere goes, oh, well, we're going to show this to 3 to 10% of your audience, which is only a small number. And then what happens is your 3 to 10% that it's shown it to, they don't like it. They don't comment. They don't engage. They don't interact with you in the slightest, which happens when you first start off. And let's get this out now. Your friends, your family are your worst critics. They are not your friends on social media, and they will be the first person to troll you. They will never over time like, comment, or share anything, including your partner, in my case, my wife. So don't worry about it. So let's assume you post, 3 to 10% see it. They don't like it or comment. That reduces your reach. So that reduces the number of people that are going to see it thereafter, which then means that your page or your post doesn't grow. That's not what we want to happen. What we want to happen is when they show it to that 3 to 10%, they do like and comment and engage. And then as a result of them liking, commenting, and engaging, it starts showing the post to more people. But unfortunately, those people don't engage. So I post now, you go and comment on it, you go and like it. The post is then shown to your friends and your followers, but they don't engage. So therefore reach is reduced and you don't grow. So in an ideal world, once you've posted, your friends like and comment on your social media channels. The social media algorithm starts showing it to more people. They do engage and like it. Woohoo! And then it starts going and you do grow. And then you feel way more confident to start posting again. And that is how the algorithm works. So it's about understanding it and getting the best results from it. But what I can tell you is the more you do it, when you learn how to do it effectively and efficiently, and when you assess it, you'll start to see more results from what you're putting out. And all you need to do video, let's not overcomplicate it. A £10 microphone off Amazon, a £20 stand called a Joby stand. That middle one is a Joby. You can buy it on Amazon. That's the one that I have. That mic on the left is called a lav mic, L-A-V. And if I wanted to use some lighting, you can get ring lights. You can get those type of lights. You can just search them on Amazon again, or wherever you have. If you're not from the UK and you don't have access to Amazon, you can search and you can buy those 3 equipment. That's all you need. So in terms of content marketing, I'm not going to go massively detailed into this because you've got Rob talking about this later. So content marketing is about doing it properly. Making sure that you're consistent with it is one of the big things. Making sure that it's worthy of your time, because it will get results. So many people still don't think that social media is a job. It is a job. It generates leads. It generates business. It builds your personal brand. It builds your business brand. You've got to put yourself out there consistently in order to be able to get results from it. The worst case scenario, if it's really bad and you don't like it, just delete it. If you do a video on your phone practicing, no one else has to see it. You will always be your worst critique. Just delete it and go again. My first videos back in 2016, I didn't watch any of them back. I just let my colleague post them, my administrator post them, just so I could get them out there. Content marketing builds goodwill. It builds trust. It enables you to engage with your audience. And it's the know, like, and trust that we want to build with them. That will then be a case of the more you give and the more content you put out, naturally, the more results that you're going to get, the more people will begin to engage, the more you will find your fans and followers. And it's about making sure that you hit the 7-11 for. So Google did a research online into the buying habits of people who bought at the end, because Google and Facebook know everything about us. And it's called the 0 moment of truth, ZMOT, Z-M-O-T, if you want to Google this. But they did some research, and it effectively means that the person who bought at the end, probably like going shopping with my wife. She buys the first thing that she saw, but we have to invest 7 hours of time into looking at the clothing. We have to go for 11 different touch points, you know, looking at, there's an email, there's a testimonial, there's a website, there's images. So in different places, and then in 4 different places. So that's going to be in 4 different shops, for example, or that could be in your email database, on Facebook, on YouTube, and through a brochure is another one. You know, that brochure is also a touch point, but equally the places, 7 hours, 11 touch points, 4 places. So you need to make sure that you've got a lot of content out there for people to gorge on and for people to get involved with. Shelley said, is there too much content and posts? How many times per week? I don't want to get on everyone's nerves. So if the algorithm is only showing it to 3% of people, 3 to 10%, then you got to think about, if you were to have 1,000 followers, then realistically, that's not a lot of people. 10% seeing your post is only 100, is potentially 100 people. So I think that depending on your ability, depending on your time, you know, posting, and this is a test for me, 3 to 4 times on Facebook works really, really well, but only once a day on LinkedIn works really well. I know people in the big space. If you look at Gary Vaynerchuk, massive in the social media marketing side. If you look at Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, you know, these people run huge things in huge organizations around social media. They post up to 9 times a day on Instagram. Now, yes, they have got full-blown marketing teams, but if it's only 3 to 10% that are seeing it, I wouldn't worry about the amount of times that you can post. I would set the minimum standard of performance in terms of posting and sticking to that, making sure that you do it once every single day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks of a year, and then how you build on that to do more over time. Your first of everything is going to be rubbish and it's going to be shit. Your first video will be rubbish. Your first podcast will be rubbish. Your first post will be rubbish. But like anything, repetition makes it better. When you accept that initially, you know, every master was once a disaster, you get better over time. But when you learn how to do it right, you start getting the fast track results. And you only learn by doing it right. You only learn about doing it right. You can either go on courses, invest in coaches, mentors, trainings, or you can learn vicariously through other people's experience, or you can observe others, or you can take the hard way like I did to a degree for 2 or 3 years, testing, trialing and erroring and seeing what works. So in relation to content marketing, here's an option for you in relation to what to post. And let's assume that you're doing 7 posts a week. We want to do 40% of our posts about your business, 30% about you, 10% engaging, 10% selling. So that could be 3 posts about your business a week, 2 posts about you and what you're up to, 1 post engaging. And the engagement is quite important because we use polls a lot to get people's opinions. It might be something that you do that causes debate. It could be something that's going on that's topical in the news at the moment. You know, there was a big release about property market opening today in the UK. You know, that is an engagement post, and that helps the algorithm because the algorithm's like a child in the sense that when you reward your child for a period of time after that, they love you. They give you loads more attention. They give you hugs and kisses. They're the best well-behaved child ever. So when you do something like, you know, BMW versus Audi is one that I've done before, and people pick and choose. It divides people's opinions. But then what happens is after that post, the algorithm helps you to get more reach initially. So to give you another example of this, my first TikTok video that I did actually got about 1.7 million views. And I observed the platform. I saw it was working. I realized that you had to jump onto trending. I asked my daughter if she wanted to do a dance with me because that's what was going on really well. And that first video got 1.7 million views. It took ages to blooming do as well. And this was the thing as to why I'm not consistent with TikTok. This was just before Christmas. But then when I did my second post on TikTok around mortgages, it got nearly 12,000 views. Now, had I done the mortgage post first, I'd have been lucky to get 2. And this is also a lesson in the sense of build the audience and then start to sell. So build the fans and the followers and then start to offer your products and services because people buy into your personal brand. We're friends with our friends because of who we are, not because of what we do. So engagement is really key, and it also helps you sell and it helps your posts to get seen by more people. So a little bit about video. Tell your audience you're going to be going live or posting a video is going to help you to be seen. You know, I've been telling people that I'm going live at 8 o'clock every single morning, and the number of people that are seeing it are tuning in. Having a catchy headline and a little bit of a description, telling people what is to come. We've got 3 to 7 seconds to capture somebody's attention when they're scrolling through social media. So make sure yours stands out and that you use a catchy headline to make sure that they stop and they look and they listen. Have a script or bullet points to keep yourself on track. You know, that's the advantage of using this slide deck during this time, is it just gives an opportunity to make sure that I'm staying on track and on point. I often have bullet points. You know, if I'm doing a live, I'll have a piece of paper, I'll put it just below the camera. You can't see this now. And I'll just have those bullet points there to keep me on point, because you can easily go off on tangents. Looking at the lens up here. What we tend to do when we're looking at our phone is we start looking at ourselves in the middle of the screen here. And what that makes you do is go a little bit boss-eyed. So get into the habit of looking at the lens up here where your camera is, because that will resonate more with the audience and that will help them to, see you. Imagine your phone is one person. So I'm talking to you as if you're an audience standing in front of me. Imagine that you are talking to one person, and try and use you as much as possible. So that then that resonates more with you. Because if you constantly keep saying we or I, it doesn't work as well. Pre-record. So my social media journey, to give you context, I started posting in social media around about January time of 2016. I did pre-recorded video in about April, May. Actually, it might have been later. I think it was May, June of 2016. I found my first videos way back when that I sent to my wife in our WhatsApp media. And that was about May, June time. And then I didn't go live until October. So if you haven't started posting consistently today, don't worry about video or live video. If you're doing pre-recorded video, it might take you 6 months until you have the confidence to do live video. Just be comfortable where you're at, remain consistent. Next, some setup and some tools for you. Make sure, as much as possible, you frame yourself landscape this way, because when you do it this way on Facebook, it will add black lines either side of you. So it's easier to repurpose that content as well when you do it in landscape. Ideally, you want to be eye line as well. So the lens being an eye line, because if it's down here, you're going to see double chin. If it's up here, it's going to be looking weird, like you're looking down from the sky. Editing videos. A lot of my mentees edit their videos. They use iMovie, Windows Media Player, Premiere Pro. There's another one called Capwing that will enable you to be able to put subtitles onto your videos. A lot of people listen to content rather than actually watching it. You can change up the background a little bit, the location, the time. I do my lives every morning at 8 o'clock, but some days I'll be in the garage after a workout. Some days I'll be outside in my car, and I've actually specifically gone out to the car just to change the background while we've been all stuck at home and during lockdown. But changing the time and the background and the location can definitely help. I've tried lives in the evening and I just don't get the engagement or the audience. So clearly my people are morning people, much like me. To build your confidence, do Instagram stories. They're 15 seconds. If you don't like it, you delete it, it's gone. But you can just ramble for up to a minute on 4 different stories. And what I did to challenge myself back in November of 2016 was I did 30 lives in 30 days. And that gave me more confidence to continue thereafter, because repetition, repetition, repetition. Riding a bike, you get better the more you practice. Everything gets easier with practice. So stick to a routine and you'll get more results from it, and you'll be able to move forward with it. So platform options. For me, looking at our options, I've seen some posts in here in terms of what would ideally happen. Facebook, 2 to 9 minutes live or pre-record works really, really well for me. The disadvantage with live video, for example, is if you do a 2-minute live video, you won't get many people onto the live at that point, because Facebook sends the notification out to lots of people saying, hey, I'm live. But what will happen is you'll get the watch time later, because someone who sees you in their algorithm and in their feed 6 hours later will ultimately be able to go, oh, it's only 3 minutes. I'll have a watch of that. I like what he or she says. Whereas if you do a 30-minute live, then what will happen is you'll get loads of engagement whilst you're doing it, because Facebook will be chucking it in front of people, or Instagram or wherever will be chucking it in front of lots of people. But when someone the next day or 5 hours later looks and goes, 30 minutes, I haven't got 30 minutes. No matter how good your headline is, you'll probably only get them watching for a shorter period of time. Facebook page, only do lives or short text or an image content. So we've got the profile, which everybody has, and most of you will be on right now. That's what you have to log in with into social media with. That's what everybody has to have a social media account. On your Facebook page, which is what you'll most likely be using for your business, I only do lives. I only do short text rather than 500 to 700 words, for example. And I try to use an image as much as I possibly can. Pre-records, we've been testing putting some out. They're not getting as much reach as the live videos, but it's worth putting them on if you feel comfortable doing pre-record over that. LinkedIn, I actually don't think video works for me at all. We've tested it, we've tried it, we've done 1 a week, 3 a week, 5 a week, 7 a week. But if we do one, 2 to 3 minutes definitely works best. LinkedIn has a maximum of up to 10 minutes. You can pre-record it and put it up. You can apply for the LinkedIn live function, which doesn't work particularly well, nowhere near as well as Facebook or Instagram. But if you're finding video works well, brilliant. Definitely doesn't work for my audience. Instagram in the feed, 1 minute. Instagram TV is 10 minutes. Instagram Live, I've done a couple. The engagement has been relatively low, but it's about consistency. I'm actually meant to do one every Wednesday, but I can't today because I'm here. So Instagram, we try and do 1 to 3 posts every single day. And we've got a little bit of a pattern, which makes it easier to stick to. We do a personal image. We do a motivational, informational graphic. And then we do a 1 minute video, which we have done as a pre-record with some banners and some subtitles and everything. If you go and look at my Gary Das Instagram page, you'll be able to see it. There's loads of different structures that you can use to make your Instagram look pretty, for example. And then lastly, TikTok, one for the future. Over this coronavirus period, there has definitely been an increased number of people and professionals turning up on TikTok. I cannot be consistent with it because I'm not good at video editing, and it takes me 30 to 40 minutes to do a video, and it's really, really frustrating. So I just can't be consistent. I know that it's one of my weaknesses. I'm not particularly good at it, but if you can edit video or you've got some time in a day, the audience size is growing. The age demographic is growing. Instagram was the fastest growing platform of 2019 because all of us older people have now realized and cracked on to the younger demographic who learn it twice as fast. TikTok is growing. Celebrities are getting on there. Business people are getting on there as a means to reach more audience. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, why do I teach others how to do video? And I think it's a really important message because here's some of the mentees that I have. Thomas Honor does live video now as a means to challenge himself. Hudson Rose Graham, does a lot of videos. David Sharpstone does a lot of videos. Laura and Stephen Lyons started doing some videos and putting those out there. And Imran's recently started as well. Maybe they're tuning in. But the importance of this that I want to stress to you is every single one of them and me look completely different. We sound different. We act different. We use different language. And therefore, we will get different results. Because people like them might like me. But people like them will like them. People like me will like me. People like you will like you. You resonate with who you best resonate with. And the thing that makes us all unique and all different in our personal brand is us. So I have no fear or objection to helping other people to do what I've done in relation to video, because the messaging will be different. The subtitle will be different. The audience that we resonate with will appeal to different people, and you can do exactly the same. The more value you bring to the world, the more it helps the consumers, the more it helps the industry, the more it raises the whole industry's profile and improves it. So for any of my other mentees who are watching this, apologies if I haven't used your video. They were the easiest ones to grab, but they're also really good and show a variety there in terms of banners and subtitles and utilizing all the different means of background and everything. So how do you repurpose content? This is why I love video, because people like to absorb content in three ways. They like to watch it, they like to listen to it, and they like to read it. Now, from a video, you can create a YouTube, you can put it on YouTube. You can take the best 10 minutes and put it on LinkedIn. I would urge you all to write down rev.com. You can send the video or an audio file off to them, and you will get the transcription back fully typed out, either by a bot, an automated bot, or you can have a human do it, and you can then edit that and turn that into a blog. Out of that blog, you can then create 4 posts for LinkedIn and Instagram, shorter social media posts. If you've got some editing skills, then you could potentially have the video edited and then put it out onto Instagram, 3 1-minute excerpts. If you did 5 things, then that can go out. And then you could use a couple of quotes that you've said. Now is the time to become pro is one of my ones. You can take that, you can put that on an image, and you can share it. A couple of things that might help you, People Per Hour is a sort of a freelancer site that's really good. People Per Hour. Another one, I can't actually think of them. Comment in the comments if you do know. Upwork, that's another one. People Per Hour, Upwork. They're all great places to get freelancers who could edit your videos for you, because it comes back to my first slide around how do you do more social media? Well, from a video, you can create 15 pieces. That's 2 posts a day, 1 video a week, job done, off your desk, nothing else to worry about other than scheduling it. So here's an example of what we did. And I have a full-time videographer, social media manager, who's been with me for over 2 years now, Jack. He's put me in the trust of the technology today. So if it all goes wrong, it's my fault. But this was a video we did, 10 reasons as to why I coach. And Jack takes that, puts it on YouTube, and then slices and dices each of the 10 reasons into a smaller video with banners and headings and subtitles, logos, etc. So some people say, what content do I do? Well, Rob's going to be talking to you about that. And no doubt Spencer will be talking to you about that as well. But you can do content that entertains people. Gives them something to watch. We all want to be entertained. It's why we come to social media in the first instance. You need to inspire people to take action, to have more motivation, to try something different. And then lastly, to educate people. Now, hopefully you're getting all 3 of those today. Give me a thumbs up if you are. That would be greatly appreciated. But if you're getting if you're getting entertained, if you're being inspired, if you're being educated, then you have got the secret sauce to producing content and putting it out online. And ultimately, that is the golden goose. If you can do that, then that's going to help you to get more results from the business and from the content that you're putting out. So think about the outcome that you want from the content that you're producing. Is it to entertain? Is it to inspire? Is it to educate? Some video statistics for anybody who's watching thinking, I just can't do this. It's not for me. 73% of consumers are influenced by video on social media, or influenced by social media. So if you're on it, you're influencing people. 85% of users enjoy video. The numbers are increasing. 87% of marketers use video. It's always a good idea to find out what marketing agencies and companies are doing. So it's really important. 88% spend more time on a website. Have you got a video on your homepage and your about page? The about page is the 2nd most viewed page of any website. So have you got a video on there introducing them, making sure that they feel like they are safe, that they are in the right place, that your clients know that you are the person to solve their problem? 8 out of 10 people will buy after watching a video. That is insane. And here's a cheeky little trick that we have done for Active Mortgage, my brokerage. We have done a video, for example. Did you know you can get an interest-only buy-to-let? And in that poll, people will go and either pick yes or no on the page. And then for everybody who has chosen no, guess what video comes out 2 or 3 days later? The video answering that question. And then Jack takes that and he sends it directly to all those people who clicked no. Simple, but so effective to raise your profile. Internet users, nearly 7 hours worth of video consumed every single week, and 82% of traffic is going to be video by 2022. So you need to jump on this video stuff, guys. It's absolutely key. And it's one of those things, a lot of my mentees within the academy, when they join, say they can't do video. After listening to my podcast and 35 episodes in, they say they can't do video, but they absolutely can. It's just about taking it over. So some content ideas for you. Tips and tricks work really, really well. 7 ways to do something. 5 quickest tools to raise your finances, to improve your credit score, to improve the value of your pension. 5 ways to make more money. 9 tricks to do X, Y, and Z. There is scientific data that proves odd numbers work better than evens. 3 things I learned doing investing in property. 3 things I learned doing video online. 3 of the fastest ways to grow your pension. 3 of the fastest ways to make more money from your investments. They're just really easy, simple, quick content that you can do. And that lead magnet that I showed you right at the beginning, the 7 mistakes that business owners and entrepreneurs make when buying and investing in property. That's my lead magnet. That is my gift that I give to a lot of people. We took that video, we turned it into a transcription. That was a video originally. I did the video, piece of paper with the 7 things on it, sent that video off to rev.com, got it transcribed, sent it off to People Per Hour and got it written into a guide, sent it off to my best mate, who's my designer. Hey, presto, we've got a PDF that looks like a book that we can then utilize and send out to clients. Leveraging time is so, so important. Newsjacking and trending. What's going on at the moment that you can jump and ride off of the back of? Brexit has been one in the past, the royal wedding. These are things that help with the algorithm. The fact that the property market is opening today, ask a question, talk about, what's going on. Ask your audience. Hey, I've just seen that the property market's opening today. Who's going to feel safe enough to go and view houses? That's going to get loads of traction because everybody's talking about it. It can be the same within whatever area of financial services you are in. When the stock market crashes, when pension funds change, talk about that stuff. Motivate people. People love to be motivated. It's why we have the hashtag Monday Motivation. It's really key in terms of driving people to, have more action. You want to be seen as someone who motivates others. But at the same time, you want to be seen as somebody who can cause some debate because it's good for the algorithm. Cause debate, cause a bit of controversy, say something that might stand out and get you to be seen differently. Get people who can almost go against what you believe. Because remember, we're not trying to appeal to all people. We're just trying to appeal to people who are just like you and want to work with you. And the beauty of this, which is something that I've benefited from over the last couple of years, is once you start doing content today, it only gets easier because your Facebook memories start popping up, your Instagram memories start popping up, and you can start resharing all that old content. You can start putting a new spin on it. You can take the mickey out of yourself where you used to do a video in a shirt with your dad's sleeveless jumper on, as my friends used to call it, looking like you're going to a cricket club. And you just do all of that stuff. You learn, you develop, you grow and evolve. We all know what it's like looking back on the past and the transitions that we go through. Geraldine's just said that she's ordered a tripod, a mic and ring off of Amazon. Well done, Geraldine. Love an action taker. Now, we are all in the business game. We are all in the financial services game. We are in the game of helping our clients to build assets. Every single piece of content that you put out, a blog, a LinkedIn article, a video, is all assets. A book, a lead magnet is all assets that you have for your business. It is what ultimately helps you to get more clients into your world. And they are working and being seen by people even when you are not having to produce them. It provides an income. It provides reach. It provides engagement. It provides leads, clients, and sales. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, all of this stuff is there for you as assets. Think of it as you are building assets for your business and for your future. And remember, you got 2 options. You can be a watcher down at the bottom here. You can start sharing other people's content. The key that really helps you is not just putting it out there into the world, but actually taking some time. I produce content in the morning and I go back and I comment and I engage on other people's content in the evening and sometimes during the day as well. Then you start producing content, then you start curating content. But the reason why this pyramid is here, because 90% of people sit at the bottom. 90%. So don't ever worry. Give me a thumbs up if you've been a lurker. You've sat in the wings. And I guarantee you that one day when you start producing content online, someone will turn around to you and say, I've been watching you and I want you to help me refinance my portfolio. I want you to invest my £100,000. I want you to arrange my life insurance for my family. People will watch and they just won't ever comment, like, or share. And then randomly you will get a message out of nowhere asking you to do business. So don't delay, start today. I just made that up. That was a really good rhyme, wasn't it? Don't delay, start today. So how do you grow your social media once you've actually started consistently doing it? Post more. You'll learn over time. You know, I've had a social media manager now for 2 years. His job is to assess and look at what's working and what isn't working. So it's a case of seeing what's getting you the most amount of results and making sure that you're not posting too much on one channel where you could be posting less. We know that LinkedIn works really well once a day for me. We know that Facebook works 2 to 3 really well for me. The algorithm's always changing as well. So we're constantly testing, but generally the more you post, the more results you get. Don't overcomplicate the content. I wish I had done this more. I share my journey quite a lot on Instagram, talk about what I'm up to on a day-to-day basis, but people like to see the story. We read our children's storybooks every single night. You look at a film, it takes them from zero to hero. People like seeing the journey. So take people on your journey, share the challenges, the struggles, the growth, the learning, the development, the improvement, the failures, the successes, and help people to understand that. Build your movement, build your collective, build your tribe. We're not trying to appeal to all people. We're just trying to appeal to those ones that want to be part of your world. Ask people to follow you on another platform is a good way to drive them. If you're doing, I've done it a couple of times on this today. We're on Facebook, but I'm telling you about my LinkedIn. I'm telling you about my Instagram. When you're on one channel, you know, when I do an Instagram story, I'll tell people that I'm going live tomorrow at 8 o'clock talking about this, that, and the other on my Facebook. So hopefully they come across and they watch. Ask people to like, comment, and share. Now, if you do this in the actual feed, if you're doing a written post, the algorithm will read it. So you have to be clever. You might do your post and then say, hit me up below and let me know what you think. You might be able to say, if this was valuable to you, hit the L button. But if you're doing a video and you ask for likes, comments, and shares, like I've done in this as well, the algorithm can't read that. So you can get results from that as well. Facebook groups. I'm a big fan of Facebook groups. There is always a group with your ideal market in there. I talk to my mentees all the time about going on to local Facebook groups in the town that they are in the county or the postcode, you know, or the area code that they are in, and connecting with people locally, sharing value into that group. Think back to my slide earlier that I did around, you know, talking about yourself, your business. If you're doing 7 posts a week, 4 in there, 3 up, what you're up to, 1 asking them if they want to buy your product. Utilize local Facebook groups are fantastic. Use free gifts. We have the lead magnet as one of them to bribe them to give us their email addresses and to make sure that they engage with us. You can use gifts of content is a gift. Send people videos, send people posts, send them articles, provide that to them. The more freebies you give to people, i.e. your content, the more likely they are to engage. But equally, whilst people are on social media, they are not yours. They are social medias. So it is really, really important that you look to get them off of social media and on to your email database. And the way in which we do that is for things like lead magnets, is for holding online events, is to collect an email address where you can further build the relationship with somebody online. So it's about, if you want to be successful in business, in social media, in life, it's all about being consistent. The big thing with social media is about consistency. It's what's going to get you the most amount of results. That minimum standard of performance. I'm going to do 1 post every day and 1 video every week. That is what's going to work. That is what's going to resonate. That's what's going to stand out to somebody. Eating in a calorie deficit every single week is what makes you lose weight. Running consistently is what makes you get faster. You know, riding your bike, doing the hoovering every day is what makes your house stay tidy and clean. Consistency. You do it in other areas of your life, bring it into your social media and into your business. And then in terms of the branding side of things, I came up with Pro just to give everybody a bit of context, because having a brand and a business as kind of a closing off is looking at perseverance leads to results, which creates opportunity, which is why I now always sign off all of my social media posts and all of my podcasts with, now is the time to become pro, because you need to persevere. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be hard. There's going to be failings, but that's when you start to get results. My live that I did this morning is about getting comfortable and making sure that you push through that comfort zone, because on the other side of that comfort zone are the results and the opportunity that you want. Now, for many of you watching this, you have been in my world for sort of 12 months as the mortgage pro. What we learned from the recent intake of the academy is that I not only have helped mortgage advisors, I've helped financial planners, will writers, commercial advisors, IFAs. And this event is also for me the launch of de-niching. And I'm going to talk to you about niching in a moment, but it's about de-niching. From mortgage pro, we are now financial pro. The podcast is relaunching tomorrow. The financial pro community is what we're going to turn this community into after, because I want to create more collaboration. I want to help and serve you more. You are my clients now. I have my team running Active Mortgage. I love helping and inspiring and motivating the financial professionals. We're rebranding the Mortgage Pro Academy to the Financial Pro Academy, because the principles that I'm talking about now, what I teach on social media and lead generation, apply across the whole financial services industry. And what I'm going to be talking to you about later in terms of the 6-step formula to building your business, it applies to not just the financial services industry, but also to service-based business owners all over the world. So tomorrow, the focus of education, inspiration, and motivation has been the main 3 things the podcast provides. It will now be the Financial Pro podcast, all focused on more leads, more sales, more profit, more time. That's why this event exists. Hopefully you've got some value from today to help you create more leads, more sales, more profit, and more time. We've got 85 episodes as Mortgage Pro Series 1, talking about social media, interviews with Rob, Spencer, Emma, Catherine, other business owners. I've had people message me saying that they started the podcast, didn't think they could do video, and within 35 episodes, they're doing video. I talk about how you can produce content, what content you should be doing. So if you're into podcasting and audio and you want to leverage your time, if you go to the link bit.ly/financial podcast, you'll find all access to all the channels. It's on Apple, it's on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, the whole lot. And that link will give you all of the options that you can choose, or you can go and search it out on your favorite platform. We are 50,000 downloads now from 35 countries, so it's growing and getting better. And when it comes to marketing and sales, I focus on 3 main areas: customer, attention, and sales. And just to talk to you a little bit about customer attention and sales, the reason why in our industry in the UK, we have competent advisor status, CAS. I came up with my own version of customer attention and sales. And the big thing is, in the awareness phase, nobody knows who you are. So they are cold. It's like cold calling a database. And that's the problem, is you're going to get limited amount of results. Once they've then got a little bit of interest and you are starting to stand out to them as your personal and your business brand, then they start to warm up. They start to know, like, and trust you a little bit more. And then as they start to make their decision, because I advocate to my clients within Active Mortgage that they need to start thinking about buying, moving, and investing 6 to 24 months in advance. So I've always spoken to the awareness phase, the cold market, and used content marketing and social media and building my database as a means to generate more leads, clients, and sales. Because then when they get down to the decision phase, they've had the 7-11-4 with me, that they're then ready to make a decision. And I realized this unbeknown to me in 2016, because I didn't know this stuff back then. I hadn't done enough research. As I say, prior to 2016, I was not using social media. I had actually spent my first 10 years in business doing no marketing at all. And that's why I absolutely love it and so passionate about it now, because I've found my calling, shall we say, to a degree. That sounds a bit deep, doesn't it? But I started talking to the awareness phase, and now back in, going from 2016 to now, more clients are aware of us. We've got more people who are interested, and we've got more people that are making decisions, which has given me the opportunity to grow the brand over the last 12 months, having put loads of systems and processes and automations and everything in place that I'll talk to you about later, which means that I spoke to the right customers. Because we were able to niche down in terms of who our customer is, we were able then to get more attention with them, because we knew their pains, their problems, their frustrations, because we were able to say we help self-employed people who have been trading for 1 to 3 years, limited company directors. We got really clear on who that customer is and what problems that customer has and what problems they wanted to solve. That were then when we started to produce content and we started to do video and we started to get more attention on those from those customers. And then we were able to get more sales. And those sales in my world are now online sales. So as I say, I get people onto our database for about £2 or £1.35 is what we get them on through now through Facebook ads, which we've been running for most of this year. But then once we get them onto the database, most businesses that you look at from a marketing perspective, the bigger the database, the more leads and deals you will do over time. And for me, that leads to a strategy call. When I first joined the industry back in 2003, it was all based on the number of strategy calls, the number of face-to-face appointments that I could do, 15 a week, for example. And that would then lead to the number of deals that you could ultimately do. Well, the world of social media and marketing has absolutely changed the game. For me, it's about sales being online sales, getting people onto the database, registered to talk to you. That will then lead to strategy calls, which will then lead to providing illustrations and quotes and presentations, which will then lead to sales. So the 4 numbers that I track: how many people are on the database and how many leads we get, how many phone calls and appointments we are doing, how many illustrations we are giving, because that means we've done research and presentations, and then how many applications. They are 4 key metrics, but it starts with database. So they are the 4 main areas that I essentially look at: customer, attention, and sales. And we, within the academy, we've got a full-blown 12-module course that walks you through this. Now, in relation to this, I'm just going to take this off of share for a moment. So in relation to customer attention and sales, we've just got another 5 minutes until we will be taking a break, and then Emma will be coming back with us in 10 minutes. The customer part is just about clearly defining who it is that you best serve. So we've gone through the what do you stand for, what do you stand against. Well, think about your ideal client that you want to deal with 5 days a week, 52 weeks of a year. How old are they? What's most important to them in their life? What are the problems that they are now facing that you can help them to overcome and you can help them to get the best results with? Communicate that through your brand and through your messaging. If you want to attract first-time buyers, or you want to attract somebody earning £100,000 with £50,000 to invest, who wants to remove their pension, then talk exactly to that person. You might think that you are ruling everybody else out, but I can 100% promise you, you will be not. You will learn to make the cold market hot, and you won't be acting like everybody else, that you will become the expert in that particular area. And that's the main thing. Is it then becomes what we call what I call attraction-based marketing. You start to attract people to you, working smarter rather than harder, because you're talking about the problems. Do you want to go, if you, for example, if you had an illness or an accident, do you want to go to a surgeon to have heart surgery? No, you want to go to a heart surgeon. If you had a knee problem, do you want to go and see somebody who's a specialist in hands? No, you want to go to somebody who's a specialist in knees. So it doesn't have to be forever. And I'm just practicing what I preach. I told you that for the last 12 months, we have been Mortgage Pro. I've built a community of over 1,300 mortgage advisors since July of 2018. Didn't know that was going to happen. It started as a means to connect and build community. And that's now expanded to 1,300 mortgage advisors in the UK. But over the course of the last 12 months, we've outgrown the mortgage niche. We want to expand. So what you start with today in terms of that ideal customer can expand and grow over time. You look at Tony Robbins, one of the world's biggest motivational speakers. He started off just purely curing smoking. Then it went to addiction. Then it went on to something else, and the next and the next and the next thing. And now he holds an audience of 10,000 people. So your niche doesn't have to be your niche forever. But if you want to attract the right type of people, that's what you need to focus on. So survey your top 20 clients. Think about your top 50 problems that your customers are having. Come up with something that's going to make sure that, you know, you are standing out to them and you are getting the results for them. Launch a Facebook group that talks to them and make sure that you are able to, answer the common questions, engage with them, get them in a place where you can constantly keep serving them and giving them value. Make sure that you are clear in terms of what you want to help them do. And this is all part of the course that I have, the CAS course, the Financial Pro Marketing course, you know, customer being the key part. Attention is about producing content in 30 minutes per day, creating blogs, writing videos, how you repurpose that, which I've spoken to you a lot about today and this morning, editing those videos, utilizing Facebook ads. Now, as I mentioned, I've been doing content marketing since 2016. I've only started using Facebook ads this year. Up until 2020, I spent £2,500 after going on courses for Facebook ads to learn how to do it, just to test budget. I never needed to be consistent with it because the content marketing, the organic, using all of the free platforms, remaining consistent, developing and growing from one post a day to one video a week to live videos to having someone to repurpose and do all the editing and turn the video into a blog, to turn the video into social media posts. You know, that took me 2 years to get to a point where I had somebody who could full-time support me. And it's just about understanding and leveraging time and utilizing outsourcers, which we've got Emma coming up next, who's going to talk to you about getting more time back in your day so you can be able to spend more time on the lead generation side of it. Because the one thing I said when I went self-employed in 2006 to my father was, as long as I've got leads, as long as I've got somebody to talk to, I can sell and I can make money. So attention is all about making sure that you leverage all the feed channels, you use quality over quantity, you get your message out there, you remain consistent doing it. And then the sales part is about how you remove them from social media into your database and your world. So the 7 mistakes that business owners and entrepreneurs make is the way in which I do that through Active. We create a lead magnet that they can go and download. You go on a landing page. Within that landing page, you then have an email sequence that follows up to build that attention, to build that authority, to serve with more value so that you know that the problems are being overcome. And from the lead magnet, you have a sales page, you have an automated email sequence that takes them through that so that you can then therefore get more results from your business and maintain that relationship with people. Because once they're on their database, you know, people talk about email open rates. They're still absolutely key. You can still get huge results from building your email database. And the thing is, they are yours. With email marketing now, you can set up text messaging marketing. So there's loads of things you can do. Social media is free. Utilize it, get more people into your world. So I hope that's been valuable and useful for you. That is my first presentation done. We're going to have a 5-minute break and I'm going to bring up Emma Mills. We're going to get the technology side of it sorted for you. For all of you who would like to experience, and what I'm telling you here, to give you context, I didn't know anything in relation to this stuff in 2016. Since then, I've invested 137,000 in my own personal and business development. But that has returned me, you know, 5-fold as a result of that. Well, not 5-fold, probably slightly less than that. But it's returned me, you know, 4 times the return in terms of the cost that I have spent. And what I've done for my mortgage brokerage since 2016 in terms of producing content, producing a lead magnet, setting up email sequences, from what I've learned from my investments, I've now done within Mortgage Pro as well, or Financial Pro as well. So if all of you want to go and visit this website, I have written an ebook a guide, a lead magnet, and that's the other word for it, is a lead magnet, is an ebook where you can go and download and get how to generate 30 leads in 30 days. It gives you 30 inspirational ideas to make content marketing easy. So you can just literally go to that bit.ly/3030 formula. You will sign up. You will see the landing page, as I've just referenced in relation to customer attention and sales. I even use this method for not even for generating financial services business. I use this now as I'm using it with you. So you can go to that. You'll see the landing page that I built. And I actually did build that personally myself. You can do that on something called Lead Pages, which is one of the ones that we recommend. So you can go on there, you can see the landing page, you can put your details in, you will then get an email with the ebook on there, you'll then get followed up with a sequence of emails, you can experience it, you can feel it, and you can see what you think as a result of going through that process and looking at it. And that's what I teach, one of the big areas that I teach within marketing, within the Financial Pro Academy. That's what I'm helping all of my mentees, which I have over 100 now, to do and to improve and to put in place for their business. So if you want to go and download that, that is available completely free for you. I'll put a link in the group as well for that, so that you can see that in the group after this event.